Hi, I'm Kirby Allison. I'm excited to be here in New York City at the new Huntsman Cutting Room, a groundbreaking facility that's just a little less than a year old right now. I'm with Ralph Fitzgerald, the U.S. cutter. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you for coming.
We've had an incredible tour of the cutting room here, and one of the things that we're going to talk about today is the details of the Huntsman silhouette, the Huntsman House Style.
Sure.
I mean, of course, Huntsman is incredibly well known for quality, but they're also equally well known for having one of the three kind of iconic, instantly recognizable silhouettes. And so, why don't you kind of walk us through some of those elements?
Yeah, the Huntsman silhouette is actually based on two classic wardrobe essentials. One be it a hacking jacket or a riding coat, and the other a dinner suit or a tuxedo. So elements from the Huntsman coat, the slanted pockets, which are definitely elements from a riding jacket, as when you're on a saddle, it's easy for the wearer to get their hands in their pockets. Also, it's a longer coat, and the side vent is actually quite high up on the coat. Again, that leads back to the riding coat of being able to cover the saddle.
So if a normal coat normally comes down to about kind of the crook of your fingers, how much longer would a Huntsman coat be?
Well, we actually work it out differently than that. What we do, we actually take a measurement from the nape of the neck to the floor, and we half that measurement. And nowadays, we actually take half an inch off of that.
Okay.
That is the classic Huntsman way of actually cutting it.
And it would result in a slightly longer jacket.
Slightly longer
than,
coat, yes.
Say what someone else would cut.
For sure. The Huntsman coat is classically a solo button, or one button, and that derives from the tuxedo, the dinner suit. And it's actually quite a low buttoning position. And that comes from the whole dinner suit aspect of that contrast between your white shirt and your midnight or black Barathea cloth. You want to have the contrast of the two cloth.
And actually, I mean, a one-button stance is actually the most difficult button stance to cut because you have less control. Everything has to be
it needs to be completely
worked out
balanced,
perfectly.
for sure. Yeah, that's how it's worked out. How we take that measurement is from your nape of your neck to your natural waist here, and that. If you were to run your thumb along the back of the customer, and it's the position here, when I take the measurement, I actually run my thumb, and it's the point on the customer's back where it actually makes them lean forward naturally.
Okay.
So it's obviously the center of gravity.
And then you would take that around, and that would be?
And it's 5/8 of an inch up from that point, and that's how generally you find that measure.
Now, one of the other hallmarks of a Huntsman suit, especially relative to like something from Anderson and Shepherd, is a very clean front.
It's very clean.
There's no drape at all.
Hardly any drape in the chest, and it's a very strong shoulder.
With no roping either, which you would see out of something like from Cifanelli.
Yes, exactly.
A square shoulder, I mean.
Square shoulder. There is slight rope to it, but not as dramatic as you mentioned.
And then what about the kind of just the gorge positioning?
The gorge that we cut is actually quite low down compared to maybe some of the European tailors, some of the Italian tailors. It's also quite a square notch that we cut. Square, I mean, compared to the bridle here. The actual lapel width, that's worked out through the chest size, the chest measurement taken on the customer. So it's all worked out through scale. When I take you through to the cutting room, I'll explain how I work this out. Everything has to be balanced.
Are you pinching the waist at all?
Yes, it is a waisted garment. We're creating, it's not soft tailoring. This is almost military looking. Well, aspects of it is military looking. That's what you want. You're enhancing someone's form. That's what we're trying to do.
So it's not as like military as say something from Gibbs and Hawk.
No.
But it has that kind of military heritage in the fact that equestrian coming from the cavalry.
It has obviously elements of it.
So whenever you're cutting a Huntsman, I mean, what do you have in your mind's eye of the silhouette you're trying to cut, in order to, again, really kind of communicate that Huntsman shape?
Well, you want to complement the wearer's form, and actually the house cut lends itself to it naturally. Having these slant pockets and the one button is actually drawing your eye naturally to the wearer's smallest point, which is actually slimming.
And then does the slightly longer jacket, again with the long lapel roll to the one button, it probably elongates the silhouette also?
Definitely so.
Very elegant. And then what about on the back? So, I mean, of course, clean back, right? I mean, this is a form, but the high vents, you mentioned earlier. Anything else about kind of the aesthetic here that you'd say is unique to Huntsman?
You've got a bit of back drape for ease of movement.
Okay.
You need that. You see nowadays lots of younger suit wearers where it's just too clean. You need that 1/4 inch per side of ease to actually be able to move comfortably in the garment. Also, another thing I forgot to mention, our armhole is actually cut pretty high.
Okay.
Again, that derives from the hacking jacket or the riding jacket, so that when the wearer was on the saddle, you can actually move in the jacket comfortably. You want to get that armhole as high up as possible to get daylight through the side seams, but also to be comfortable.
And how is that? I mean, I imagine that it's easier said than done. I mean, what are the challenges in kind of achieving that high armhole?
It's fitting the customer really and getting your patterns right. But we take a measurement, I can show you really, something a bit like this. So you put the tape around the customer and actually right up under the arms. And then that translates to this mark here. Mm-hmm. Then you'll measure down from the nape to this point, and that's how you establish that depth.
Okay.
But at the same time, you want it to be high up, but you want it to be comfortable at the same time.
Well, beautiful jacket. So I guess next we'll go back into the cutting room and you can kind of
please.
actually show us how some of the elements end up on the pattern.
Brilliant.
If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up and please subscribe to our channel and turn on your notifications by clicking the bell to the right of the subscribe button so that you can learn whenever we release new videos. If you have any questions or comments about anything we discussed on this video, please ask them in the comments section below. And of course, please visit hangerproject.com, where we have the largest, most comprehensive collection of luxury garment care and shoe care accessories in the world, as well as many other incredible products for the well-dressed. And while you are there, subscribe to our newsletter to receive notifications of new product launches, promotions, as well as a weekly digest of all the videos we publish here on our YouTube channel.